Back in a fresh incident of stray dog killings, around 300 dogs were allegedly killed in Telangana. Sources from the village said few elected representatives, including sarpanches, allegedly carried out the killings to what they say is fulfill promises made to villagers during the recent Panchayat elections to tackle the stray dog menace. You're hearing that correctly. Those dogs were killed because they were seen as a menace in these villages, and to fulfill that promise, an election promise, they were executed, they were massacred. There is no other word you can use for an incident as disturbing as this. The police have now booked the sarpanch of 2 villages and several others after an animal welfare group flagged the crime. Police say a case has been registered against 6 people, including 5 village heads, for their alleged involvement in the incident. I have Uma joining me live. She's in Bhavanipet in Telangana. Uma, just tell us exactly where you are. This is the village, I believe, where one of the villages where the massacre took place. You've spoken to the villagers around you. Were they okay with this massacre, with this murder, mass murder?
So I'm here in Bhavanipeta village, which falls under Kamareddy district of Telangana, and all these villagers I've been speaking to since the morning. They are all standing together and saying that even though it is the sarpanch of the village who has been booked, we have taken a decision together, and they have brought together just a few of the children or adults who have been affected by it. This child, they say they are not even able to go to school because when he was going to school, the dog had chased him and he broke his arm. This child was, the dog had bit in the face and her legs as well, and 3 dogs in fact attacked, and they had to retrieve. This man was just has got 2 injections today, and he has got his injections, 7 injections so far after being bit by the dogs. And this gentleman, once again, he was chased by the dogs, and in the accident he in fact lost his little finger as well. आपके गांव में बहुत सारे अटैक्स हुए, लेकिन आपने निर्णय लिया कि 80 कुत्तों का जो शव है उसको निकाला गया. क्या आपने सबने एक साथ निर्णय लिया इस पर?
नहीं, बच्चे लोग को पीछे पड़ रहे हैं कुत्ता लोग. ये आदमी लोग बाइक में जा रहे हैं, वो लोग पीछे पड़ रहे हैं कुत्ता. गाय को काट रहे हैं, बच्चे लोग काट रहे हैं, बड़ा आदमी लोग काट रहे हैं. एक आदमी का निर्णय नहीं है, सरपंच के एक आदमी का निर्णय नहीं. पूरा गांव एक निर्णय नहीं लिया. एक पूरा आदमी का निर्णय है, एक सरपंच का निर्णय नहीं है.
आपका कहना है कि हर जो कुत्ता है यहाँ पे उसको कोई डिजीज है, उसका स्किन डिजीज है, जिसकी वजह से भी यहाँ पे बिजनेस भी नहीं हो पा रहा. जैसे आप कोड़ी जो चिकन है उसको पालते हैं.
पोल्ट्री फार्म है जी, पूरा गांव के बाहर वो डिसीज के लिए अब कुत्ते को आ रहा, आगे बच्चों को निकल रहा, वो पूरा निकल दिया. और भी आए डिसीज के कुत्ते, वो भी निकालने को जरा रिक्वेस्ट कर लो गवर्नमेंट में. ठीक,
दुनिया आपको देख रही है ये कहते हुए कि आपने इतने सारे कुत्तों को मार दिया, आपने उनका क्या कहते हैं मैसेकर कर दिया, ऐसा दुनिया कह रही है. आप उनको क्या कहना चाहते हैं?
वो कुत्ता के लिए मारने के लिए हम लोग सब लोग मिलके किया है. वो तो भैंस को, गाय को, बकरी को, सबको, बच्चा लोग को, बड़ा लोग को, सब गाड़ी का पीछे पड़ रहा है. किसी को काट रहा है, क्या कर रहा है मालूम नहीं पड़ रहा है. वो इसलिए सब मिलके उसको हटाने के लिए हम लोग सब मिलके किया. और भी है, उसके लिए भी थोड़ा एक्शन लेने के लिए हम लोग, आप लोग थोड़ा रिक्वेस्ट करना है हमको.
This is a stand of the people. In fact, I have the sarpanch here who has been named in the FIR, Swami. The report suggested that because of the recent Panchayat elections, one of the election promises was that they would eliminate not just the dogs but also the monkeys. And लेकिन आपके गांव के सभी लोग आपके साथ खड़े हैं ये कहते हुए कि सिर्फ आपने अलग से नहीं निर्णय लिया.
మేడం, అందరు ప్రజలందరూ చేసిన నిర్ణయం మీద నేను తీసుకోవడం జరిగింది. నా ఒక్కనే డిస్కషన్ కాదు మేడం, ఇది ప్రజలందరూ ఆలోచించారు. దాని విషయంలో ప్రజలకే తెలుసు. మొత్తం ఏంటంటే ప్రజలు మొత్తం ఉద్దేశించి కుక్కలతో పిల్లలను కలవడము, ప్రజలకు ఇబ్బంది పెట్టడం, ప్రజలను కలవడము, గోదలను కలవడము, ఇబ్బంది చేయడం వల్ల
unable to live here is what he is saying. Children could not go to school, people cannot go to
I completely understand that. This has been a menace. This is a menace
by the
not
dogs,
only...
and that's the reason. And all of them are standing together.
I understand that. This has been a menace.
What I must also point out is that I was just there at the mount.
Right, let me just complete, This is a menace. It's a menace across the country,
bodies which are supposed to carry out what is
can you not go to the state government? Can you not go to the district? Can you not go to the officials there, lodge a formal complaint, take other steps? They have murder on their hands just because they're dogs. This cannot be the solution to a problem as serious as this, however serious it is.
Absolutely right, because the Telangana government is really on the back foot on this issue, because like the Supreme Court right now is discussing a framework in which this dog menace or stray dog menace can be handled. And what they are pointing out is that the ABC rules, which is the legal way of controlling the stray dog population, that is not being adhered to. The activists who have been speaking to and the complainant in this case, who in fact says not just in this village where 80 dogs carcasses were removed, in another one 70, in another one 300, and in Dharmapuri where there is a video of a dog actually being poisoned with a dart, and subsequently it falls within 20 seconds, the dog falls dead. Yes, it is massacre and it is not something that no one can condone. But the urban bodies and the rural local bodies, it's a failure, because as you know, the Animal Welfare Board has said for every dog to be sterilized, vaccinated and then let off, they pay about 2,000 rupees for each dog. But where is the infrastructure to be able to do so?
So there's blood on their hands. Those people behind you, Uma, there's blood on the hands of the officials as well, at the district level, at the state level. There's no looking back. The Telangana government here on the back foot. Here's a report on what really happened on the ground there where Uma is standing.
A shocking case of mass animal cruelty has come to light in the Hanamkonda district of Telangana. The Stray Animal Foundation of India discovered multiple mass burial sites of dogs and has lodged an official complaint with local authorities. Preliminary investigations suggest that nearly 300 stray dogs were allegedly killed over a span of just 3 days. According to police, the dogs were reportedly administered poisonous injections and their bodies were subsequently buried in these mass graves.
In the due course of investigation, we exhumated the place where dogs were kept, and we found that nearly 110 dogs were killed at both the places. And we conducted a post-mortem over some of the dogs and we sent the viscera to RFSL.
Following the complaint, police acted swiftly, booking the sarpanch of 2 villages, along with several daily wage workers, suspected of helping cover up the crime. Villagers had reportedly complained about frequent stray dog bites. Instead of adopting humane measures, the Panchayat is alleged to have hired individuals to kill and bury the dogs. This cruel act has sparked outrage, and now Panchayat officials and workers involved have been booked. NDTV Bureau Report.
We're going to stay on this story for now because I think it's very important for our viewers to understand that we need to sensitize ourselves towards stray animals. Ambika Shukla, animal rights activist, joining me now live. Ma'am, thank you for speaking to me here on Breaking Ground. The police are probing, as you heard from the reporter, claims that this was done to fulfill an election promise. You had so many people standing behind the reporter, Uma Sudhir, saying that we're all to be blamed, we're all culpable for this crime, but we don't feel guilty. If this allegation is true that the police has also come forward with, ma'am, who should be held criminally responsible? Those who ordered it, those who executed it, or just the entire chain?
So there can be no justification for this level of cruelty. There is an all India program of animal birth control which has been available to the authorities for the last 25 years. The failure to implement it cannot be reason for the dogs to pay the price, for the failure of the administration and for the cruelty of locals. You do not deal with the problem of running and chasing with murder. This justifies any kind of mob violence. Tomorrow, if I don't like something, are the villagers to just get together and kill a person who they disagree with? Are the villagers to get together and say, because it is a collective decision, it is justified? If might is right, then why do we have a system? Why do we have any administration at all? And I would like to point out something else. This is not an isolated incident, nor is it a singular one. In fact, the Supreme Court order of 7th November and the Supreme Court orders over the last 3 months with regard to dogs have created an atmosphere where the validation of hate, which has become a validation of hate. And we can see this in the pattern of violence. There is an increased scale, intensity, and frequency of such incidents. This is not the only one. In Hyderabad, 2,000 dogs have been captured by the municipality and incarcerated in cells, in ABC unit cages, and where they are dying every single day with no accountability. In Chennai, 50 dogs have been caught from the premises of the courts when there is no rule or order to do so.
All right.
These two have been incarcerated in cages where they will die. In Meerut, and then you have private players, not just municipalities. Manipal University, 24 dogs have been relocated, disappeared. In Hal, in Hisar.
Ma'am, I get what you're getting to at this point, but you're talking about the Supreme Court. But
So
the Supreme Court
this-
also,
so this
Amita
issue-
has repeatedly underlined that stray dog management must be lawful and humane. There needs to be sterilization, there needs to be vaccination, not vigilantism. In this case, does
Exactly.
the mass cull violate that
Exactly.
framework? Would you say it violates the framework that the Supreme
Exactly.
Court has
But-
repeatedly spoken about?
It violates the Supreme Court, yes. It violates the Supreme Court order. It violates the ABC rules. It violates the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act. It violates humanity. I mean, forget, the man-made rules. What about our God-given rules of humanity and charity and mercy and compassion? It violates all of that as a society. It belittles us as a society. It dehumanizes us. This is the same country. This is India. This is Mahatma Gandhi's India. And Mahatma Gandhi, who said that the morality of a nation, the moral progress of a nation can be judged by the way it treats its animals. And here you have panchayats murdering up to 300 dogs and standing by a decision as barbaric and primitive as that. What is this country coming to? And we cannot have anybody justifying it by saying, oh, this child was chased, this child fell down, this child got hurt. This does not justify violence and cruelty.
Yes.
If it's an eye for an eye, the whole world would go blind.
And Ambika, I want to just interrupt you there.
What
I'm not going to
in
justify
the reason,
these bites. I'm not going to justify these dog bites. They're real. They're worrisome. Rabies, of course, is a huge fear in this country. It's a reality in this country as well. But stray dog
But
fear,
let us
Ambika,
look at the options.
Yes, I'm just going to come to you in a moment. Stray dog fear and bite incidents, like I said, are real in many towns. But does mass killing actually reduce the risk is my question, or can it make the situation worse by disrupting territories, by disrupting vaccination cycles?
Absolutely.
Yes, go ahead.
Absolutely. There is something that is called the vacuum effect. There is something that is called the vacuum effect, where when you remove dogs from any area, dogs who are familiar to that area and residents who are familiar with those dogs, you take those dogs away, what happens is these circumstances for animals still exist. The conditions that promote animals still exist. So other animals come in, either other dogs or other species. For example, cats, monkeys, rodents who are discouraged by dogs will then multiply. And then you have another set of problems. So if you have other dogs coming in, they are unfamiliar, and the chances of bites increase because they are frightened, they are nervous, they are new to the area, they are unknown. So the chances of conflict increase. So there is a very scientific way of dealing with the bite situation, which is not being implemented properly. The ABC program provides for not just curbing of dog populations, but also reduction of bites and elimination of rabies. And we are very much headed in that direction over these last years, where the ABC program is being implemented, at least in parts. There is a declining dog population, there is a reduction of bites, and there is very, very few cases of rabies. In the whole of India, there are just 54 reported cases of rabies.
All right,
this
so then
is
let me
down
ask you
from
this,
20,000 just a few years ago.
Let me ask you this before I wrap up. If a panchayat says, like in this case, we needed immediate action, what, according to you, is the humane, legally compliant playbook in the next 72 hours? Who should they call? What steps should they take? This is something all our viewers must understand at this point.
The very first thing is to explain to them why dogs react. If we simply had basic safety rules and sensitization in place, we would understand dog behavior. Just as we learn traffic rules, let us learn dog rules. Do not chase, do not threaten, do not beat, do not in any manner relocate dogs. When you pass a dog by, do not make a threatening noise, do not pick up a stone, do not kick him, just ignore him. If you cannot be friendly, be neutral.
Okay.
Do not react. If you react to dogs, if you wave your bag around, you run, you scream, you cause a dog to become alarmed and react in self-defense.
All right, Ambika,
That
I'm
is the
sorry. I
cause
will
of
have
bites.
to interrupt you there.
Bites
I've been
are
told we're
caused
running
by
out
fear.
of time, but thank you for joining me here on Breaking Ground. We get the drift. We understand what you're saying. And I want to end with an author who once said, Hannah Gold, animals can speak, but humans have forgotten how to listen. In this case, viewers, we silence them.